Moving along, Mohamed Salah, no hair, no care, because he's still scoring. Yeah, new look for the Egyptian king, and he was getting on the board for Liverpool in a 2-0 win alongside Diogo Jota. Big game for Mohamed Salah. Looking like he's back.
It was fantastic. I think he caused real problems for that Ipswich defence. The ball's over the top. I was really impressed with that midfield as well. Gravenberch, I think, the link up that he had with Mohamed Salah was fantastic. And you saw Ipswich in the first half. They played well. They threatened Liverpool. I don't think they looked like scoring, but they were pushing back and they had their chances. And I think if Greaves, I can't remember, it was around the 30-minute mark, Greaves had an open header and he headed it over the bar. If that had gone in, it could have been a completely different game. Because in that first half, Liverpool looked shell-shocked in a way. They looked, a little bit, they were struggling. And I think that half-time team talk from Arne Slot really helped. And they obviously got their ideas together. And Salah on that right-hand side was fantastic. And, to get that goal, the assist, I think it was a fantastic game from him. And overall, I think Arne Slot will be happy. It's a good start to the season. It's obviously a tough job. You're taking over from Jurgen Klopp, who's arguably the best manager in Liverpool's history. Maybe he's, top 3. But to take over that job with a club that has a lot of expectations to succeed, if he's not winning the league in 2 or 3 seasons, there'll be pressure on him. I think there already is pressure on him. So, and there's always a potential banana skin playing against the newly promoted team. Ipswich, they're coming in with a lot of confidence, back-to-back promotions. At home, the crowd would have been hostile against Liverpool. So, yeah, overall, I think a good day out. Things to improve on, but definitely positives to go from, and 3 points on the board, which is the most important thing.
Absolutely. Gary, what do you think about Arne Slot and him at Liverpool? How do you expect them to fare this season?
First of all, I think that, like most of us, we didn't know him properly until we're introduced to him via, him becoming new Liverpool manager. I think that the handing over notes were done really well from what I'm seeing. I think the handing over was done really well. And it reminds me of the way Bayern used to bring in new coaches. Remember, like about 10 years ago, there was a time when they would announce like 6 months to time or 1 full year before the new manager came in. And so he always came in like landed running, or he hit the ground running.
Yeah.
And I think that is what Liverpool have done. Clearly, there's been a lot of, whether it's Zoom or Skype or Teams calls or Google Meet calls between and Slot and, just to look or share some ideas. I think Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp did not leave Anslot to just do his thing. They allowed the 2 managers from, and I'm sure that there's going to be an article in the Athletic in about a year or 2 when probably Liverpool have won an EFL Cup or something, about how Jurgen and Anslot, like, they synergized before the season started. Because the kind of chemistry I'm seeing and whatever it is that's working seems to have been brewing for a while, and that's good to see. It means that there's not going to be a lot of trial and error, which is good for Liverpool and also good for the league, because the PL is one of the leagues that you always need your certain traditional clubs to be going to keep the momentum interesting and going. So I like what I saw. I didn't watch the match as the full thing, but again, because of the show and all that, I had to go and check out the highlights, read a lot, and so on. And it seemed like I like what I saw. Let's just say I like what I saw, and he's going to be a good fit.
Yeah, it's true though when coaches kind of they go out on their own terms, and also because Klopp announced it quite early in the season last year that I don't believe there's no way that Klopp didn't have a bit of a decision in who was coming in, who would replace him, or at least I feel like him and Slot behind closed doors had conversations, and that's why you can see it is looking early doors, but it is looking like a seamless transition compared to Chelsea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just manager after manager after manager and sacking, and you never know what's going on. And then Pochettino comes in and saves the day in the end of the season, and you think, okay, they're turning it around. No, we're sacking him still. Like the inconsistency and the constant ups and downs. It looks like Liverpool, they really went through it very seamlessly.
Yeah, I think obviously they had their options before Arne Slot. I think they were looking at Xabi Alonso. You know, there were coaches in there that potentially could have taken over instead of Arne Slot, but when they found their replacement for Jurgen Klopp, they went for him. You know, it was a good choice. People doubted it perhaps at the time. I was one of those where I was thinking, you know, obviously he's proven himself at Feyenoord, but there's a big difference between Feyenoord and Liverpool. Coming in, you know, he's obviously, I think that transition, Liverpool is a well-run club. You know, the fans maybe sometimes criticise them for not overspending on money, but on players, that, you know, that's maybe a good thing at the end of the day. You know, you're bringing in the players that you want to sign. Yes, maybe they need a midfielder. They were after Zubimendi. That didn't happen. But, you know, you look at the business that Liverpool have done. It's been sensible. They've brought in players for the future. You know, you look at that deal with Mamardashvili. He's going to go back on loan to Bournemouth. He's going to be one for the future when Alisson maybe moves on or goes to Saudi or perhaps, you know, has an injury. Or, you know, it's a backup plan. And Liverpool feels like a really sensible, well-run club. And I think that transition, like you said, between Jurgen Klopp and Arne Slot would have been really well planned. They've obviously brought back Michael Edwards, who's the director of football operations there. He's doing a really good job, and it feels like a mini rebuild in a way, but almost one that it's a seamless rebuild. I think they're going to go one more year with this squad. There are players that might leave: Trent, Van Dijk, Salah. There are players that could leave at the end of the season, but go with this squad for the year and then see what happens. And I think, I can see Liverpool clinching that top 4 spot quite comfortably this season.
Yeah, it's looking like it's going that way. But again, early door.
It is very early for me to say.
First match in. Guys, we know it all. We know it all.
But then I think for a team like Liverpool, anyone should expect them to get to that top 4. If Liverpool has not been in top 4 in the last, I don't know, it just means that there's something wrong. A team, a club that's that big, a club that's had the Premier League at some point, a club that has the caliber of players that they have, they are pretty much as good as Manchester City when it comes to their signings. They sign really, really talented footballers. Like, come on, I can't even start counting the kind of people they have. But I would be expecting Liverpool to, if they're not winning the Premier League, they should at least be constantly playing Champions League football. Even if, Klopp was a very good manager, like you said, probably the best manager in the history of Liverpool, right? And they now have somebody, Ancelotti. He's just been handed in a very good team.
Yeah.
And if he's a good manager, fact is, you don't need to do too much. You just need to bring out the best from the players. And if you do that quite easily, they would perform. Like I said, they have amazing players. Like, I love watching Liverpool play. If I wasn't a Manchester United fan, trust me, I tell you, and if there was no Osimhen in the conversation of Chelsea, I'd probably be a Liverpool fan.